Hello, Dave. WA4LLR, are you there? N4LQ. Stand by 1 minute. WA4LLR, N4LQ. Are you there, Dave? Well, okay. I'll go ahead and start the net. If Dave shows up, he can take over, I guess. This is the Old Friends Net. Meets here on 3715 every Sunday at 5 p.m. and Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Amplitude modulation only. Any equipment is fine as long as it generates some sort of AM, and everybody is welcome to join. So those wishing to check in, please call now.
KN4R.
KG4IUQ.
WSW.
K1VVC.
WB4NKL. W4MEC.
That's pretty good. We only had one double. And let's see, I've got KN4R, Brian. And then I think I heard John, KZ4B. And then KG4IUQ and WF2U and K1VVC and WB4NKL and W4MEC. Any more check-ins?
Yeah, I wasn't clear on that. November 4 Alpha Kilo, you can put me at the end.
Oh, okay. Did you, you may have doubled with somebody. I don't know. But anyway, I think I've got the order right. KZ4B, are you actually here?
Roger, I'm here.
Okay, I got it right. All right, Glenn got you, N4AK, coming after Charlie. Anybody else? A great big welcome to everybody on a beautiful Sunday. I mean, the sky is clear. It's only 87 degrees outside. It's not really humid, and it just feels good. And it feels good to be inside with the fan blowing on me here. So I'm running the usual Collins 32V3 and the 75A4, about 100 watts to the loop antenna. So let's see, nothing really amazing going on here. I did post some folks are excited that MFJ is back, but actually that stuff that showed up on Gigaparts looks exactly like a lot of the old MFJ products, but those products were all Asian-made things. MFJ was selling a ton of Asian-made products there toward the end, and they weren't making them in the factory, and you could tell the difference. Well, actually, the Asian products are a higher quality, but that's including a lot of those little power supplies that were so good. Those were made overseas, and but the simpler things like antenna tuners and stuff like that that required more fabrication, those were made here. So anyhow, I just thought that was interesting, and most of that stuff on Gigaparts is rebadged stuff that you can buy all over the place. But what was it? Intellitron is the brand name they're selling. Anyhow, that's about all I've got for now. So Brian, what's going on over there on the lake? KN4R, N4LQ.
Okay, Steve. N4LQ in the group. KN4R. Brian, Cheryl's Ford. It's pretty humid over here, Steve, and I think it was 92 or 93 here. But anyway, I worked really hard yesterday outside, and so I'm hiding in here from the heat today. But anyway, yeah, terrific on the Intellitron rebadge stuff. I was looking there just to see if they happen to have an MFJ 1708B, but they don't. So, I'm on the GRC9 here. I've got it throttled back just a bit. I'm running about between 55 and 60 watts right now. So, but I'm copying everybody okay. Charlie, you got one of the stronger signals today. So, over to you, John. KZ4B and the old friends, KN4R.
Okay, KN4R in the group, KZ4B, fine business, Brian. We're on the usual T150, but not the same T150. We're on the one that we got from Steve, and again, we appreciate that. It seems to be working okay. Critical comments are solicited so we can polish the apple if it's needed. And but we do like T150s. It was a unique thing. As far as I know, it was the only screen grid modulated transmitter that would run 26146s. In general, that much power. You know, you'd have to go homebrew to duplicate it. And and we do like screen grid modulation. Although we are busting our rear end trying to get the broadcast transmitter on the air. It's not going to happen this summer, but maybe it'll be ready by winter or fall. And it's a humongous project, but it's coming along. And the real problem is not so much the size of the project, it's the slowness of the fabricator, i.e. me. I just cannot do things like I used to. And I've always been a little slow, but I like to claim I do decent work. But I am really slow now. I can beat any turtle in slowness. So, I have rambled on enough. Over to KG4IUQ in the group. KZ4B, over.
This is KG4IUQ. Everybody's sounding pretty good here. Steve sounding very good. I don't have a meter, you know. I'm using PMR8 multi-LMAC for the receiver. And I have a Bandmaster Deluxe CBS 50D. And I'm using D104 microphone, Heath VF1, and the Harvey Wells power supply. And what else? I don't know. But I'd like kind of some reports about this sound here. Is there a hum in this? If I use a receiver here in the house or even put one outside, and a recorder near it, I get a kind of a hum. And I don't know if it's actually happening that way when it's going out of here over the air. Steve's talking about the Intellitron. I wonder if Amazon has not taken over MFJ. I see Chinese CW keys, all kind of stuff on there. I just wonder if our world is changing. I'm sure it is. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to WF2U Mayor. This is KG4IUQ.
Yeah, Roger, KG4IUQ and the group. This is WF2U. Good afternoon, everybody. And conditions are not bad. I have sort of, I don't know where it's coming from, like an unstable carrier right on this frequency. It's not as strong as everybody else, but it's just a pain in the ear. I don't know where that interference is coming from. Before that, I thought that that is somebody was tuning up or something, but it's there, so I have to investigate. Anyway, so far everybody is pretty strong, but on the average everybody is like 10 dB over 9. Let's see, Steve, you were almost 20 dB over 9, and I'm running the ASUS station, but the antenna is still my temporary inverted V, which is pretty low until I go to the wireman and pick up some wire to redo my 80 meter end fed. So that's the equipment. So it's the ASUS separates, and that's feeding the Yaesu FL20-100B linear, putting out about 300 plus, about 320-25 watts peak. So with that, I guess it goes to John. K1VVC and the group. This is WF2U.
Yeah, WF2U and the group. K1VVC. I'm hearing everybody really well. Mark, I don't see any hum on your signal, and I don't hear any hum on your signal. It sounds fine. Amir, you're the strongest I've heard you in weeks, so obviously you must have your amplifier on. It's making a really big difference. You're coming through really nice. And, you know, what can I say? It's hot here, like it is every place, I guess. And not much to report. So with that, to you, Cliff. WB4NKL, K1VVC.
K1VVC, WB4NKL. Okay, good copy all the way around. Got some storms here in the area. If I don't come back next go around, you know the lightning moved in closer. We've been getting storms about every evening, and just shower just come through. Had a shower there yesterday about this time. Come through, it left 2.5 inches of rain, so it's plenty of water, making the yard grow real good. Mark, audio was good, and then John, the new T150 sounds good here too. Both sounded good report on both of those. I wonder if anybody went to the Salisbury Hamfest. I'd like to hear a report on it. John, W4JPL, had sent me a picture of a Icom IC2AT that somebody was asking $200 for. I figured they might have left a decimal point there. Maybe it was supposed to have been $2. But send it on around. Go ahead, Charlie. W4MEC, WB4NKL. WB4NKL in the group. Yeah, you're waiting for me to say something. Just trying to get a frequency readout. I hope I'm close. W4MEC. Well, good afternoon, fellas. It's 85 degrees here, and right now the storm has dissipated. I was out working on my truck, and big old kaboom out of nowhere. So I buttoned everything up and ran in here, and that was it. So I figured I'd check in the net and see if I or last until the storm got worse, but it seems to be dissipating. I initially checked in with a DX100B and SX100, and while John was talking, a big old wisp of smoke came curling out of the XX100, and it went silent. So it smells resistory, so I've got a resistor that burned up in there. So woe is me with the SX100. So anyway, Glenn was actually that what do you call it? That a pregnant pause there after you call for check-ins there, Steve. Nobody answered, and then everybody answered, and actually Glenn was the first one, so he ended up at the end of the list. N4AK in the group, W4MEC.
W4MEC in the group, N4AK. Well, now I have the advantage of if anybody said anything naughty, I can give a rebuttal. And I hope everything is all right with Dave. I tried to look to see if there was any thunderstorms in his area. There's some close by, but looks like Burnsville looks none right overhead. And I saw the other day, Charlie, you might know this, where Burnsville has a big airport that would probably accommodate small jets. That must have happened in the last 10 or 15 years. I used to go up there, and I don't remember a nice big airport in Burnsville. Anyway, signals are good today. I'm copying everybody fine. I'm on the DX100 and the HQ129X, a Superior AM receiver. So back to N4LQ, N4AK.
Okay, very good. This is N4LQ. Do we have any more check-ins?
WB4ARK.
All right, buddy, I got you, WB4ARK. You'll come after N4AK. Anybody else?
W4DCS.
Oh, beautiful signal, W4DCS. Got you, Doug. Anybody else? All right, so let's see. Let's go ahead and do Buddy. And then Buddy goes over to Doug, DCS, and then back to me. Go ahead, Buddy.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Well, I am recovering from the extreme heat and humidity. Duncan and I got started early today, and trying to work out a problem, and we were outside the whole time, and we started about 8:30, finished about 2:30, so hardly a cloud in the sky when I left his house. It was pretty brutal out there, but we were in the shade most of the time until probably the last 30 minutes. And let's see what else. Well, we haven't had any rain here in the last 4 days, 5 days, 6 days probably. And it looks like storms are all around us, but none at our location. So over to Doug, W4DCS, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy, WB4ARK in the group. W4DCS, Winston-Salem. It's about 89 degrees here. I did go to the Salisbury Ham Fest yesterday, and like most others, it's not what it used to be. There were no vendors there. It used to be D&L and Satellite Sam would come, and Triad Electronics, but none of them were there. Now there was some tailgate, but it wasn't wasn't that good. I got there late, so I missed several guys I wanted to see. Saw a few guys that I did want to see. So yeah, it's only about 35 miles from here, so no big deal. But yeah, not too much to tell about it. Anyways, copying some, not all. I'm on the Class E rig, so that's about it from here. Steve, here you go. N4LQ W4DCS.
K4JAL.
Oh man, I tell you what, K4JAL. Welcome to you, Jimmy. Yeah, Doug, your Class E sounds classy. Okay, go ahead, Jimmy. The K4JAL, N4LQ.
N4LQ, K4JAL. Well, I hope David hasn't fallen down the spiral staircase. I've been hollering my head off trying to get in here and noticed I was on 3885. If my operator capability gets any worse, they're going to take my license. Back to you, Steve. N4LQ, K4JAL.
Well, you probably checked in somewhere. All right. Let me go down the list here real quick just for a refresher. Let's see, KN4R, KZ4B, IUQ, F2U, VVC, NKL, MEC, to N4AK, ARK, DCS, and then JAL at the tail end. Anybody else want to join before we go around again? Yeah, I'm kind of looking for Dave, but don't know what happened to our leader. Let's see, a couple of comments first on Brian. Your signal's good and strong. John, the new T150 sounds superb. I think the audio is better on this one than it was the other one, and I don't hear any hum, so that sounds good. And let's see, there was a comment you had made about I would look at the Johnson Challenger. It's a little bit similar. It's got a pair of 6DQ6s in the final, modulated low-level screen modulation of some sort, and 70 watts is the power that they claim, 70 watts AM, and I assume that is input power. So it's probably 40 or 50 watts out, which is sort of high. But that's another rig that used two tubes. I've always wanted to play with one of those. One of these days I'll pick one up and give it a shot and see how it does. Mark, your audio sounds fine, no hum, no problem at all with it. You mentioned Amazon and Intellitron. Yeah, they're selling that stuff on Amazon with the Intellitron name, and you look at the vendor, and it's a Gigaparts. So Gigaparts is selling stuff on Amazon as well as their own website, and then there's all these different other brands that they stick on those same products. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the Japanese coffin bugs, like I bought from Lafayette back in 1964, and it was labeled Lafayette, little plastic cover on the bug, and man, there was at least half a dozen or more, Skillman and High Mound, and some of the, what's the CB, Midland, yeah, Midland, they had one, and they were all the same product, and they just stuck different brand names on them. So that's what's going on. And I wish somebody had picked up all the antenna tuners at least, and there's plenty of antenna analyzers on the market, and VNAs and all that kind of stuff. We're going to be okay there, but TR switches, there's some on eBay, the Chinese jobs. But anyhow, there's a lot of MFJ products that are missing and probably cost too much to make here. One thing I have noticed is the scarcity of wire, antenna wire. And if you look on the Wireman's site and try to put some of that stuff in your shopping cart, it won't go because it's they're out of stock. And look at the window line, the open wire window line. That's getting to be really scarce. And Davis RF, almost every wire they've got, and all the flex weave stuff and all that says out of stock. And I think I'm going to order some, but it's going to be through Ham Radio Outlet. Has some left scattered around the country in all their stores. But that flexi type flex weave stuff, that stuff's getting hard to find. And okay, on the smoked SX100, Charlie, that's a sad situation, but I'm sure it needed a smoke, so we'll get back to it again soon. It'll be back on the air, I'm sure. So with that, back over to Brian, KN4R, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group, KN4R, and thanks for picking up the net, Steve, by the way. And yeah, your Lafayette comments brought back a lot of memories. We had a really small Lafayette dealership on Independence Boulevard for a time, and it was just a real hole in the wall. I mean, it was just the room wasn't even 10 by 10, and but it was full of products, and the Skillman and the High Mount and the Midlands and all that. I remember all that kind of stuff. And you're right about someone who needs to make or pick up the MFJ 1708B, because I think there's probably still a lot of need for that. And I may end up ordering one of those Chinese sensing TR switches just to add a relay, but it looks like they have quite a bit of insertion loss and all this kind of stuff, so they're not super good. Steve, big signal, John, big signal. Jimmy, you sound about as strong as I have heard you in a long time, and even when you were on 3885, you're booming in here. And Doug, the Class C sounds pretty amazing. It sounds really nice. So I'm sorry about the Salisbury Hamfest. I think John also has some comments. So I'll pass it to him. KZ4B and the old friend. This is KN4R.
Hey, let's get Dave here. I just heard him check in. I'm going to wedge you in right here after Brian, and then you can turn it over to KZ4B. Go ahead, Dave.
KN4R, WA4LR. Fellas, I have to apologize. I know now how old I'm getting. We had lunch, I came in and sat down in a recliner, and I just woke up. So, Steve, if you have Tuesday, brother, I'll take it for you. Appreciate you picking it up. I am beyond embarrassed. Oh, Lord. So, forgive me, fellas. Anyway, go ahead and pick it up, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR in the group, KZ4B. Fine business, Dave. You can play on my team, I tell you what. Just remember, old age is a terrible thing to waste. So we're not complaining, but it gets tougher and tougher as time goes on, that's for sure. Mark, I wanted to comment that your signal, there's some QS Baker, but signals in general are quite good. I mean, they go from ridiculously strong to down to Q5. So conditions are, to me, unusually good today. But no hum. You were booming in at times, and I heard absolutely no hum, so I don't think that's an issue. Or maybe people are imagining things. About the Hamfest, I was supremely disappointed. I have enjoyed Salisbury through the years and gotten some pretty good deals. And, you know, seen a lot of friends and all that. But this time, I got there about 7 o'clock and left around 9, and I had seen everything that I wanted to see more than 2 or 3 times. It was almost all CB stuff. Now, I don't have a thing against CBers. In fact, if they hadn't shown up, there hardly would have been a ham fest. So God bless them. But, you know, I was looking for a few hams. And so I thought ham-wise it was lightly attended. And the only thing I picked up was a little Bud 100 kc crystal calibrator with a built-in power supply that cost me a whopping $5. And I picked up a tarp for $12, which was a raging deal that some guy inside was selling. And I got outside yesterday and covered a car. My 98 Jeep Grand Cherokee has a leak, and I think it's leaking through the cowl, and probably because it's stopped up with leaves, and so I have to keep it covered up, and the tarp that I had on there had died from old age. So but it was really a disappointment to me. And that's all I can say. There were just a whole lot of people that weren't there that have been there in the past. And you know why some of that is, and I guess the rest was scheduling conflicts. It was well attended. I mean, it's not like nobody was there, but it's just it was heavy on the CB side and light on the ham side, and it's called a ham fest, not a CB fest. So there, I've said my piece. Let's see. Doug, question. Please describe your wonderful sounding Class C transmitter. Go into as much detail as you dare, because it really sounds good. And you and Buddy and Steve and I would say John, VVC, have tied for the strongest signals today, which are very strong. It's really nice because we've had some pretty rough Sundays on this end as far as reception goes. Thanks for calling and stepping in and calling the net, Steve. And thanks for the T150. So I guess it goes to Mark. KG4IUQ in the group, KZ4B, over.
This is KG4IUQ, Mark and Shelby. Steve, you're saying that wire is kind of rare these days. Wire, products made out of wire, and that kind of scares me a little bit. I don't know why that would be. It seems like I guess it's because of the cost of it or something. Maybe people think it's not a good time for them to buy wire to sell it. I don't know. That would make sense. And Brian, KN4R, you're sounding real good here. Very good. And John, KZ4 Bravo. Good to hear that you say I have no hum. I haven't heard anybody on here say that I have a hum yet, and that makes me feel good because, you know, it seems like I have hums a lot, and I don't right now. This radio transmitter was given to me by Gordon Baker, an old friend of mine, and he said he hoped that I would get it to working or get somebody to do it. Looks like I'm just going to have to set it up so that it has the ability to use the D104. And I'm kind of talking as if this radio that I'm on right now is that radio he gave me, but it's not. It's in my mind an experiment about the situation of the sound of the microphone. The radio he gave me is on the floor, and I'm thinking of putting the circuitry in it that this one right here has, so that I can use D104 on it and get this project completed. John, KZ4 Bravo, talking like the Hamfests are kind of changing, and you know, me and my wife, I just like to be with her, you know. I hope that I retire sometime in a year or two or something like that, maybe a little longer, and I'd like to go to Hamfests, and I hope I enjoy them. If there's not any ham gear there, I'll still get me something to eat and pay the entry fee and be with her, I guess. Mayor, WF2U, you're sounding good with your Yaesu station. And you say that you heard a carrier on the air. I haven't heard that over here yet. John, K1VVC, you sound excellent, just excellent sound. And I'm glad to hear that I have no hum, or at least I didn't a while ago. And Cliff, WB4NKL. You're sounding good. And I wrote a note down, but I can't read it. That's really something. Sound very good. Charlie, W4MEC. You sounded good, but I don't know why, but on my end I heard something that sounded like a hairdryer running. I don't know if that was in your signal or what. I really don't know. And Glenn N4AK, good with your DX100 and HQ129X. Buddy, WB4ARK, you're recovering from heat and humidity. And Doug, I think it's W4BCS or DCS, I'm not sure, maybe you can correct me if need be. You're in Winston-Salem with a Class E rig, and you sound really good here. Very good sound. K4JAL, Jimmy, you were trying to get in you were on the frequency 3885. You sounding good. And Dave, WA4LLR, you say you know how old you are getting. Good to hear you. I'll turn it over now to Mayor, WF2U. This is KG4IUQ.
Yeah, Roger. KG4IUQ. And the group, this is WF2U. Yeah, okay, very good copy on everybody. Everybody signals are averaging, as I said before, 10 over 9. No weak stations tonight. Dave, good, better later than never. And Steve, you are the strongest station at 20 over 9. And a couple of times, Glenn, with a QSP on peaks, just about caught up with you. So I have no problems. It's just this annoying, I don't know where that carrier, it sounds like an unstable kind of Ripley carrier. Not Ripley, but there is a noise on top of it. And it has QSP also. It's fading up and down, so it's not local. I don't know where it's coming from. After the net, I'm going to put a general coverage receiver on it and see if it's wideband or just on this frequency. It's very strange. My location is usually very quiet, so I don't know where it's coming from. Anyway, Steve, you're talking about the wireman. Anybody who, by the way, if you need anything from the wireman, I'm going over there this week to pick up some antenna wire so I can build another 80-meter end fed instead of the one that was destroyed in a mini storm. and I usually make a call in the morning, and it's ready. Before lunch. I run up there. It's 10 minutes exactly from my house, so it's no big deal. It's like practically around the corner. So just in case anybody needs something, I put in the order, I'll pick it up, and if it's not urgent, I can bring it to the next luncheon. So good to hear you, buddy, and Doug that joined, and Jimmy. Jimmy, you are also pretty strong. You were 15 over 9 here, and so everybody is coming in really great. With that, it goes to John, K1VVC in the group. This is WF to you.
Yeah, very good, Mid. WF2U, K1VVC. And I don't know how many of you have been to the Wireman, but let's just say they are so far out in the country that you have to go by the moonshiners with their stills before you actually get to the Wireman. I mean, it's that far out. It's they're really nice folks too, but it's a long ways, no question about it. And Mir, about that noise, I don't see anything here at all on my pan adapter. I wonder if that signal may be coming, since it's right on this frequency, may be coming from your transmitter. You might want to turn our receiver. You might want to turn the transmitter completely off and see whether it disappears or not. And I was sort of hoping Gary, K3OS, would be on today. I know he's had a problem with this noise, and we discussed one way that he could maybe temporarily cure it, which is either taking a baseball bat or a hammer to the wooden power pole. That works a lot of the time, but he thought he'd throw his arm out. So, or he didn't have a baseball bat, but that's the first thing I would have tried anyhow. Over to you, Cliff. And I didn't go to the Salisbury Hamfest. Haven't been there in a couple of years, and it's about an hour and 45 minutes from here. Just didn't plan on going, although I do plan on going to Waynesville in a couple of weeks. WB4NKL, K1VVC.
K1VVC, WB4NKL. Okay, John. I heard one guy talking about the power line noise one time. He said to take the dull side of an axe and, peck on the pole, and if that didn't work, turn it over and use the sharp side. So, I don't know, that sounds kind of dangerous. Let's see, Hamfest, the season's starting for me. I think I've got something the next 4 Saturdays. And Waynesville's in there, and Athens down here below me in Tennessee's next weekend. And then Berryville's coming up after Waynesville. I was wondering if John's planning on being down to that one, KZ4B. Had a good time visiting with him up there at Berryville last year. Hello to Doug and Jimmy and Dave. Glad y'all could make it. Sounding good. The storm, I think it's missed me this tonight. We had a little bit of rain come through, and it's dropped the temperature down to 76 degrees, so that feels pretty good. So that's one good part about the rains coming through. Send it on. Go ahead, Charlie, W4MEC, WB4NKL. Your hair dryer sounds pretty good.
Okay, W4NKL. In the group, W4MEC. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Mark, the hair dryer is the dyno motor on the R13, so it does make a little racket, and I see it on the scope just a little bit because I'm running an amplified D104. And the dynamotor's about 4.5, 5 feet away, and I got a box over the top of it that's longer than the dynamotor, so it allows the air, I'm sorry, a box over my power supply, which has got a fan in it, and it allows the air to come through and muffles it quite a bit, but nothing on the dynamotor, so you're getting a full blast off of that thing. Wireman cart, you know, you mentioned that, Steve, and I've had issues with the Wireman's cart also, and I'm not sure it works that well. I don't know if it means they're out of a product or it's just not working. And I was emailing back and forth with Tom, and he was trying to use it, and he said he had problems too. So, and it doesn't come up and say out of stock. So I don't know if it's out of stock or if there is an issue. Might want to call them up and see if see what they say. And that goes for Mirror too. If they are out of stock, you might want to call Mirror before you head over that way. So let's see, what else did I write down? Nothing really. Everybody's rig sounding good. I have to agree, kind of, John KZ4B, John, with Steve, that one actually it does sound a little better than the other one. So. And what else we got here? Mark, I didn't hear any hum at all on you. And that's something sort of kind of normal for a receiver in the shack there, unless you take the antenna off. Sometimes ground the antenna terminal on the receiver just to see. But my DX60, it sounds like there's no AC capacitors in the whole thing when I key it next to the, in the shack here. But look at it on the scope, and it's nice. So. It's just the way it is. So. Let's see. I think hello to Jimmy and Doug and Buddy. And with rain, we've had quite a bit of rain here. I'd say over the last 3 or 4 days we've had 5 inches or more. And I got 1.5 inches yesterday. And but today it's sun's out, it's partly cloudy. I'm getting a little static, little QRN from storms nearby, but all the bad stuff has moved out. Over to Glenn, N4AK, W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, W4MEC in the group, N4AK. Mark, audio sounds good here. And John, your rig sounds very good. KZ4B, nice AM signals this afternoon. So, Charlie, I read your email about your 1985 Ford. I actually thought you had a Chevrolet Suburban or something, but you must, by now, if that's your original 1985 Ford, I was trying to advise you to put all your information on YouTube, so a lot of what few people left in the world that has a 1985 Ford on the road would benefit from your experience. So anyway, and Jimmy, hello to you checking in, and Doug and Buddy at the end, and WA4LLR being AWOL by falling asleep. Welcome to the Senior Citizens Club. So back to you. I'm going to turn it to Buddy. He's next. Yes, Buddy. Copying you well this afternoon. WB4ARK, N4AK.
N4AK, WB4ARK. I was about to give up there. Your signal is very good today, Glenn. As everybody else's is pretty strong. I don't have any issues with anybody today. As far as real low signal level, the band is fairly quiet except for static crashes. Must have a storm close by, maybe toward the east. I don't see anything toward the west. The west is looking pretty bright, which I have a clear view toward the west, but not toward the east. And we've been getting a lot of our storms building up in the southeast here lately, but not moving back this way, just moving on
toward the east. John, I think your T150 sounds very good. You did a good job on resurrecting that unit, and glad to hear Doug on this afternoon. Haven't heard you on in a while, Doug. Haven't heard your ART on either. But Charlie, your hairdryer powering your ART sounds great. It sounds very good. I always know you got it on. So I guess I'm gonna. Well, you know, it could be the tariff issue. Is the wire issue. Might not be able to get stuff from China quite as inexpensively as in the past. And so we can owe that to our president. So with that, I'm going to say 73 and turn it over to Doug and hope everybody has a great upcoming week. W4DCS, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, W4DCS. Okay, buddy. Well, your ART sounds great as usual, and there's nothing wrong with mine. I just took the path of least resistance. Like Dave, I took a nap and woke up right at 5 o'clock, so I had to run down here and cut on what was the quickest access, and it was the Class E here. And John, this is a rig I built about 7 years ago. I've upgraded the amplifier section one time since then. It is a W1QIX design, Steve, and so I got some of the boards from him. But it's, you know, it's all home brewed. Pulse width modulated. It takes a line level input from a microphone strip, converts it to digital, and then there's a board that Steve came up with that does the pulse width modulation and amplifies it. It's got open core filtering after the pulse width modulation, which takes a larger box, but it's what I was able to do at the time. And yeah, pretty neat rig. This one has 12 MOSFET output, and they're worth about 50 watts apiece, so you can do the math there. Anyhow, that's the deal on that rig. I do enjoy it and operate it from time to time. Most of the time I'm on the boat anchors, though. There was a downburst here in Winston-Salem yesterday evening about 5:30, the other side of town. Damaged several homes, took down some trees, closed some streets. We got a little bit of rain, and I heard some thunder and lightning. You know, we got about 1/10 of an inch, but yeah, they got clobbered over there. So it's spotty, these pop-up storms. Something to watch out for. Anyways, enjoyed it this evening. Everybody came up really nice on the last round, and I'll go ahead and thanks for calling it, Steve. I'll turn it to you, Jimmy. How you doing, buddy? K4JAL, W4DCS.
W4DCS, K4JAL. Well, Doug, I hope to see you over at Waynesville if we can both get there on the same day. I think it's next Saturday. NKL knows all about that stuff. Maybe you'll comment on it. Had a tough day trying to transmit on the wrong frequency. I believe I'd rather take a nap the way Doug and Dave did. It's a good thing we had you around, Steve. You picked right up, and we had a net anyway. I'm going to say 7-3 also, and turn it back to you, Steve. N4LQ, K4JAL.
Okay, and Dave, yes, you can have Thursday. That's my day. So this Thursday is Dave Day. This N4LQ, any super late stations? All right, I see some storms around the region here, so around Asheville I'm seeing some stuff too. Probably Charlie's probably got some pretty good static. Well, let's see. I did discover something the other day. I was messing around with artificial intelligence, which I kind of like to play with, but I just asked it a question about the size of schematics of an old rig versus a new one. So I said, let's assume that we've got a simple CW transmitter that uses a 1-tube oscillator and a 2-tube regenerative receiver, and we draw that out, which a lot of us could probably do, on a piece of notebook paper 8.5 by 11, and then let's compare that schematic to the size of the schematic for a ICOM 705, which is one of their Swiss Army knife type rigs. It covers HF and UHF, EHF, and D-Star, and all the modes and all that. And I knew that each chip had millions and millions of transistors in them. So I said, if you draw that out, including the chips, how much area would it cover? And it came back, and it came out to be half the size of a football field compared to one sheet of paper. And of course nobody understands it, and they said something like it can take up to 1,200 engineers to design each module section of that radio. It's just so complex that there's no one person that really understands every single thing in it, but I can understand the little simple stuff. Okay, we've got time for a quick 73 round, so let's go ahead and get that done, and then we'll call it quits. KN4R, N4LQ.
Good. N4LQ in the group, KN4R. Okay, very good. Well, I've enjoyed it today. Everybody sounds great. Doug, your Class E rig sounds really, really good. So everybody's sounding good today. Charlie, I love that dynamotor. So I'm going to go ahead and say 73, and everybody have a nice week. It looks to me like we're going to get a bit of rain each day, possibly this week. So maybe we'll have some inside time. So over to you, Dave. WA4LLR in the group. 73 from KN4R.
Okay, KN4R, WA4LR. Well, I have to agree with most of the folks. Signals are strong today. No problem copying anybody. A little bit of QRN. We've got 85 degrees up here and bright sunshine, but looking at the lightning map, there's quite a few little places around where it's popping. Steve, thanks again for covering for my my sleeping, and I'll certainly be glad to take Thursday for you. So everybody have a great rest of the weekend. 7-3, God bless. KZ4B, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR in the group, KZ4B. Fine business, Dave. You're booming in now. You weren't that strong to begin with, so conditions really are great. And of course, you usually have a very robust signal on average. Cliff, I am definitely planning on going to Berryville. Looking forward to seeing you there. And I'm going to be going with Mike Cumbo, ND4S, and Robert Young, KN4RY. Excuse me, N4RY. There's no K in it. And he, of course, is the father of the Tar Heel antenna, and he's been sort of taken back. The guy he sold the company to he's like me. He's too old to do anything. So Robert hasn't officially taken it back. It's now called Tar Heel Designs, but he makes all of his old products, but the big thing that he's pushing now, due to the reduction in the activity of mobiling, although the little Tar Heel sells quite well, are attic antennas. I've got a setup here. It's not in service. I bought it from my son, who had lived in Cornelius, and he had a nice attic that would have been perfect to put that antenna in, since he's got his ham license. But then he moved to the beach, and he's in a neighborhood that has very high ceilings and no attic, so he can't use that anymore. So I guess if I live long enough, I'll end up putting it in my attic, unless he changes to another house that has a big attic. You do need a pretty decent sized attic, because it's 2 Tar Heel 100 truck type antennas back to back, and as much length as you can get tip to tip, to improve efficiency, because the longer the antenna is, of course, the less inductance you have to throw in. But it worked. The attic antenna works fantastically. I doubt if it would do well with a metal roof, but anyway, that's what he's pushing these days, and they work great. They really do. And Robert had his on a tower and rotated the antenna. I was worried about the fact that you can't rotate it. And he turned it 360 degrees, and you cannot see any variation in the signal strength. That's on 80 meters. On the higher bands, it might get fussier. So, I've held it too long as usual, and thanks for stepping in and calling the net, Steve. And conditions were quite good tonight. KZ4B over to KG4IUQ. Take it away, Mark. 73.
Okay, thank you very much, John. Well, I got to been getting into that 160 meters net that Steve usually is net control of, and I have an antenna that I can change from 160 to 80 with clips, and sometimes I just don't want to mess with it. So that and doing the gardening at this time of year really has caused me to not be checking into this net, but it's been a pleasure. Really glad to hear you fellas, and LLR Dave, good to hear you. It's been a while, and you sounding really good. And the Class E rig, W4DCS, Doug, you sounding good. Everybody's sounding good, but I'm going to give a few reports of people that I think really sound good, in my opinion. K1VVC, the excellent sound, just really, really great. And WF2U, I hope you're not out there in this heat on the tractor all the time doing the tough work. It's been a little while since I've spoken to you, and Steve, you always sounding good because you live just a few miles away. I'm going to turn it over to WF2U 73, everybody. This is KG4IUQ.
Roger, KG4IUQ and the group WF2U. Yeah, very good. Mark and everybody else copied 100%. Good signals. 73, thanks Steve for running the net, and your great signal. So everybody have a good end of this weekend, have a good week, and we'll see you all on next Sunday. I don't have time to get on the net during the week in the mornings. Steve, I might be on 160 tonight, or some other days during the week. We'll see. I'll try to be out here tonight. 73, all take care. And K1VVC, the group, This is WFTU 73 all, but I'll be listening to the end.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mia. WF2U K1VVC. Enjoyed it thoroughly today. One comment for Mark. Mark, you should try and plan out to come to the luncheon. The next one, I think, is August 3rd. Bring your wife along like you did the other time that you came. So we'd certainly like to chat with you then. With that, let me turn it over to Cliff and WB4NKL K1VVC.
K1VVC, WB4NKL. Okay, John, and good copy all the way around. Nothing else here, so 73 is good to hear everybody today, and enjoyed it. Thanks for calling it, Steve. Go ahead, W4MEC, WB4NKL.
Okay, W4NKL, W4MEC, real good. Oh yeah, it's getting a little dark. Some of the stuff is coming back this way. And the tariff thing, I tell you, it applies everywhere but Harbor Freight. I needed 4 casters. And I looked at Lowe's, Home Depot, and Tractor Supply, and every one of them was $20 to $23 a piece. But they were still $4 and $5 at Harbor Freight. So, and they were identical size, identical weight, identical color of the wheels, and all made in China. And I guess Lowe's and Tractor Supply and Harbor Freight are capitalizing on the tariff, and Harbor Freight isn't. Anyway, I bought 4 of them for $20 instead of 80. So and seeing how much revenue the tariffs are raising, $200 billion over the last 3 months, it sounds good to me. So I can live with that. We'll see you fellas on Tuesday morning, and try and stay dry and away from the sparky things in the sky. So, N4AK, W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie. Yeah, Harbor Freight is been a bargain. I hope they can still exist. W4MEC and the group N4AK. I've enjoyed it this afternoon. Signal's very good. And let's see. If anybody's ever had an occasion to take the knobs off an ACOM 1000, I'm at the point of where I need to get to the front panel, and I don't see any set screws in there. I guess I need to ask AI. So, and I hate to prise knobs off, because invariably when you prise knobs off, it seems like you mess up the front panel. But anyway, if anybody's got suggestions, lay it on me. W4DCS, Doug, if you're still there, it's N4AK.
Yeah, N4AK in the group. Okay, Glenn, thanks, buddy, and you have yourself a good day. And as well to all the rest, 73 all the way around, and we'll look for you guys down the line. I'm trying to make it to Waynesville, so hope to see some of you guys up there. Anyways, I'm not sure if Jimmy's still here. I'll throw it to him. If not, Steve, thanks for calling it. K4JAL, W4DCS.
All right, Jimmy, are you gone? I guess he is. All right, well, that's the end of the net then, and we went a little overtime, but it's been really entertaining. I've thoroughly enjoyed the net, and hope to see some of you guys tonight on 160, 8 o'clock, 1864 kilocycles, lower sideband. So I'm sure it'll be pleasant with no static whatsoever tonight. 73s, this is N4LQ closing the Old Friends Net.